Hi everyone, this is Amir Mohammad Shahsavarani from AUA Framework team. As you come across these videos in this series of videos called AUA tutorials, we wanna introduce you our exciting, fabulous AUA framework, which is resembling ASP.NET Unit architecture as a sort of ready-to-use template for ASP.NET Core of Microsoft technology, which you can use for both back and front ends. And we have explained all the theoretical issues, and I know that some of you may be bored, but from now on we will go to the exciting part of making entities and making our back and front end issues all together. Okay, if you wanna see the documents, you can come here in the about menu and go to documents or check our repository in GitHub. So we begin here with the domain entities. First of all, in order to make any new project with AUA Framework, we need to add a new module. For adding new module, we start from domain entities layer, coming here and across entities folder. As you can see here, we have put the sample of accounting which would guide you throughout all the project making and all the classes and coding issues that we have spoken all together. But now for starting our template, in this very beginning step, I would like to add a module and make it fantastic. Creating a coffee shop, for example, a system for a coffee shop. Here, I would add some new folder, name it AUR, or changing language, AUR cafe. Okay, and we go through this folder to make our entities first. Please bear in mind that making such folders, uh, here we call it IO Cafe for our template, is a sort of technique. We call it in programming architecture vertical slicing. In all the projects we're gonna make, we would put such folders for each of our modules so that everything would be distinct and any other programmer and developer can understand it so simply. This would help us when we do refactor the codes and when we wanna debug or we wanna extend our project in the future. Our first entity here, I wanna name it barista because we just wanna understand the process. So we wanna keep it so simple together. And as you know, the simpler the sample is, the better understanding of the basic notion would be prepared. And everything here goes in its simplistic and easy understanding way. Okay, first we put add a new item. Okay, in our new item show all templates, for example, we can select the class. As you see, I name it barista. Okay, if you do have the resharper extension, resharper makes all these issues automatically, but for now we can clear this unused usings first. We shall make this class public, our second issue. And as you can see here in accounting, for example, accounts, you can see that each of our entities inherit from domain entity, which is a base. Here we just make it inherit from domain entity. Okay, domain entity. So here for domain entity, you can select the index key type here if and if it's other than long type. We have put in the .NET 8 version of AUA Framework for a default index key type, long type. But if you do have, for example, something like int, you can put it here. And please note that if your index key is long, there is no need to change it. As you know that, for example, in this simplistic issue, we don't have, for example, customers or some receipts, and the number of baristas may be mm, so much. How can I say? It's few. Okay, for example, we put it in here. This is so simple, but please remember that in our previous versions of AUA Framework, we've put other keys. As I remember, our key was int, so that we shall came here and make it long. But in our 8.NET 8 version, you don't need to define keys unless it's other than long. Okay, going back here, as you can see here, domain entity class that we have put here two issues: registration date and creator user ID. But as we have told you earlier in our video series before, this AUA framework template is open source. You can add anything you want, or you can even delete everything you don't want. Then you can have these as a sort of base, and if you don't want them, you can delete them even. Okay, as I told you before, we just want to make everything simple. So we make some properties here. For example, you can say public string first name. First name, we put the get and set here, and adding up public string last name. Okay, I think that would be enough for now. Or if we want to do some issues, we can make public string full name, long expression, first name plus space plus last name. That will be okay for now. Good. Then that would be great to add of the schema to our entity. For using the schema here, we can take our guide. Coming back to count, as you can see here, we have the schema for our tables. Just click on it. Here, as you can see, we have some 3 default schemas here. We didn't use these two. We can delete them for now. Make public constraint with the name of AUA Cafe and the string AUA Cafe. This schema, this name would be added up to all of our tables for our new AUA Cafe sample database. Good. We just save it. Going back here, we can just copy and paste it to our barista. Okay. Public class here. Make import types. Good. We just want to make it. This table is named barista, as you can see here. Okay. And it's not accounting, it's AUA Cafe. Okay, so in all the tables that would be made from this entity, first of them we would see that schema counts that we have made through the project up to now. Okay, good. Control K, Control D to make everything in order. Save it. Okay, we have done for making our entity here. Let's close them all. And we just don't need the schema file. We don't need the accounts file. Okay. The second step here would be make the entity config file, which is again vertical slicing here. We just add some folder again, AUA Cafe, and we put the config for our AUA Cafe, all of them here. A simple way to make some config here is that, for example, we just click the copy and paste some file here, and we can paste here. Okay, coming back here, we make the name the barista config. Okay, we do all the refactoring issues, and then here from barista. Okay, good. It's not module of accounting, it's for entities coming AUA Cafe. Okay, then don't worry about issues like this, because we make all things easy for you. We don't need these builders, we just need one builder to understand all the code. As you can see, we just make the rename here. Good. Here I think make rename here. So barista config. Good. And such issues of builder. Okay, here make it barista. In our barista we don't have the property name username. What do we have? First name, length character, max length, and this length count is again one of our predefined issues in our framework. As you can see, you can click here and see the const we have made here, max string length. We have made some of these issues here for you. You can make as much as you want to make your repository enriched and use it. But we would like to suggest you not to extend these unless you need any more issue, because for any sort of coding the minimalistic approach would be better, because everything would be simpler and easier to understand. Good. Here we just made these. We copy and paste again here this builder. We have made the first name, we made the last name here. As you can see, we have made the configuration file for our first entity barista here. Good. So we have done for making the entity here, and no need to do anything else. You do not need to add this class. We have made this barista, okay, to DB context. Our AUA framework will do it on behalf of you automatically. Just what you need to do, let's close them all together, okay, in order to understand it better. We need, I think, here, okay, in data layer, because everything comes here in migrations. First of all, please do remember that, as you can see, it's bold here, the web API version. If it's not set as a startup, you can right click on it and set it as a startup project. Okay, then come here in your package manager console. First, in default project, for making any sort of change and addition to our data, come here on your project name data layer. Okay, put everything in order. So first, set web API as your default project, as default startup, then default project here data layer, and the third, only just type add migration. As you can see, migration. For example, we name it initdb. Okay, then just put everything together, just click, and it will take some time and will build your project. As you can see, the speed depends on your processor, your project, and as you know, hardware and software. So initdb is used by an existing. Okay, we make it initdb 1, for example. These issues are so common, and I think they would be great. Okay, everything is done here, you can see. Okay, let's go back here. As you remember, in our second video we made this IODB. As you can see, these are our tables. Back to our Visual Studio, we just type in update data, base and click on it. Build started. Okay, everything succeeded. Wait until it's done. Okay, everything is done. As you've seen, these are the changes that we have made. Schema, then tables, okay, and entity we have made. Then these are the issues we do have in it, everything as you can see. So back here, we make some refreshes. Again, we come to tables and we made the name. We can AUA Cafe Barista, as you can see here. Okay, click on it to see the design. We made first name, last name, is active and registration date, and creator user ID. These are three default issues that came from our base entities and domain entities that we have inherited previously. Beforehand, you can see good. Here we have done, and everything is automatically added to database. Our database is DB context, as you remember. Good. This migration is made here in infrastructures. As you can see, migrations. As you can see in the DB1. Exactly. Again, this is our newly made migration. Good. We are done in this video, and I think we would better continue our progress in the next video in order to finish our making entities and then adding up our services. See you soon, and thank you for watching these series of AUA tutorials. See you then. Bye.